So my name is Ben Fox. I work as a social media strategist for 33. I've been at 33 for about a year actually now, and we have kind of starting to build a bit of a team. We're working with as many clients as we can. We have roughly around 8 clients that we're working with on a full-time basis at the moment. Some of those clients are, majority of what we do is around community management. So actually taking a LinkedIn, a Facebook, Twitter page and producing content, publishing that content and moderating all of that page to take that away from the HR teams that just don't have time to do that. So my background really is that I come from a sort of consumer corporate space. I used to work for Nestle and I used to work for Shell as well, so I very much have the kind of corporate reputation hat on. I also used to do a lot of fun stuff with Nokia and brands like that, Skype. So from that perspective, I've seen quite a lot in the world of social. I've seen the crazy, wacky, kind of cool stuff, a bit creative, but also the kind of sensible reputation side of things. The first thing I wanted to show, and this screen is a lot smaller than I thought it would be, so don't try and read it. But the point of this graph, really, this is a very interesting chart, and it's from a company called the Altimeter Group. Now, the Altimeter Group are essentially a research house. Now, what this graph and chart shows is that actually down here on this side, we have all of the social media channels. Now, the point of this chart, really, from this presentation's point of view, is to say, having a Facebook page, having a Twitter, all of that stuff is great, but that's not the be-all and end-all of the strategy. As we go round this wheel, we've got, how can we integrate social with your website, with your blog, on mobile, across email databases? How can we integrate that with, brand ambassadors or paid-for advertising? And which types of content do we want to produce on these channels? Is it stuff that's building trust? Is it engaging? Is it meant to be inspiring? Or is it meant to be content that's created by others for our brand? Other things that go down really well, partnerships. So lots of organisations have partnerships that they don't utilise. So we're talking about anything that you do in the volunteering space, CSR space, diversity space. All of that is great content for these channels. The other thing that tends to be missing is the influencer engagement piece. Now, there will be, in the consumer space, in the corporate space, there's always a big need to push out information to people that we feel are influential in our space and can actually help to project that message even further. And there's no different in this instance in the recruitment space. We can do exactly the same. Now, some of the principles for, that I and Livia actually have brought into 33 as an agency is all about starting slowly and not worrying too much about what is the next big channel, what's the next big thing that we're looking at. And actually, sometimes it's the things that you already have that you're not using properly. So if you have a Twitter page, you haven't tweeted for a while, don't worry about Snapchat and Pinterest and all these other channels because you're not using the ones you have. And actually, the ones like LinkedIn and the Twitters and the Facebook are where we see the mass audience and we can actually target more effectively. When we're looking at Instagram and Pinterest and Snapchat, those are very niche channels that are very difficult to get things across to the audience in. So what we tend to do is take a phased approach. And if that is, the first 6 months, literally just revamp your pages and start to produce the type of content that candidates want to see, then that's a good place to start. The other thing is knowing the audience that you're actually talking to. So the key mistake that we often see, and I've seen throughout my time in social, is it's not always about what you want people to know. It's not about what you want the candidates to know about your organisation. You need to help people to understand more about your organisation at the same time. What do they want to know? So where do graduates read up on information about technology? Or where do web developers go when they need to read some thought leadership or whatever it might be? They're not always going to be on, the Facebooks, the LinkedIns, etc. So at the end of this, it's really about understanding the personalities and the characters within the people that you're trying to target, and not just blanket everyone as a graduate or as an early careers or whatever it might be. The other thing is, have a plan. So the A to B here kind of really it doesn't represent the start product and the absolute end product. What it represents is, you making a change and actually doing something about your social presences for your organisation. If A was you've done nothing and B was you've sent out 5 tweets in a week and that's a good start, then that's a good place to start, and that's how you will start to manage those channels a lot better. The other thing about having a plan is make sure it can be flexible. You know, if you've put all of your time into LinkedIn in the past, that doesn't mean that's how it has to be for the rest of the time. And channels will change, and people will change the way they use channels and change the way they want to receive information. And if we can keep up to date with that information, then that's how we're going to best target future candidates. The other thing is about people. So in the consumer space and in the corporate space, it is all about people. And if any industry is all about people, it's this one. So, you know, you already have an organisation full of people that work for you, that know exactly what it's like to work there. They know the best parts, they know the worst parts. And that's the way people are going to be convinced to want to work at your place, is do you have the right people saying the right things? And use social media to push this out. This is not, you know, like it says here, faceless message. This is not a PR thing where we're sending press releases to journalists. They're getting published in newspapers, and you know, it's mass appeal to everyone. It actually appeals to no one. This is about people who want to see other people. If I want to apply for a job, the first thing I do is go onto their channels, and I went onto 33 channels. I saw some fun stuff. You know, I saw some interesting work, and that kind of inspires me to want to do that a bit more. The other thing is show, not tell. If I was to say to my best friend, let's go on holiday to this place, and I was to describe this picture, he would not understand how good it was or how nice it looked. Actually, showing people the real stuff, so visual things, you know, imagery and videos is really what it's about. And that can be very, you know, done on a budget. You know, videos, smartphones are, you know, great quality nowadays. Videos that are raw and kind of interesting and show locations and show people and show ways of working are what people want to see. They don't want to see your, you know, they don't want you to tell them how amazing it is to work at your organisation. They want to see how amazing it is through the people that actually work there. The other thing is thinking about success. So when you put in a plan and you're managing channels, the thing you need to do is think about, it's not just likes and shares and all that kind of stuff. You're trying to get people to actually do things, and that means apply for jobs. So without tracking, you know, which type of content resonates with which type of audience and across which channel and why, and all of these questions, you won't know what works and what doesn't work. And it takes a bit of trial, and things go wrong, and you know, you might put lots of effort into an infographic. You post it on a channel and no one cares about it. And that's not a bad thing. That just means that you know next time, don't put £2,000 into an infographic that people aren't going to share. And you move on and you do something different. And finally, I think I'm running out of time, but finally, the final thought from me really is about being memorable. So, you know, this is a very memorable shot for me. If you can't see the back, it's Felix from Austria who's jumping from space. So anyway, this is something for me that's very memorable. And great. And the reason it's memorable from a Red Bull perspective is because everything that Red Bull does is so tailored around being interesting and inspiring and engaging. And you know, the fact that they only sell a drink, that's all they do. It's just a drink that's bad for your health and so on and so forth. But actually, it's something that, you know, people really resonate with, and they see, you know, they do this kind of stuff, they do the extreme games. And it's up to, you know, to us really to think about how can we make useful pieces of content that people are going to care about and aren't just about our organisation, but actually help people. That's me done. The other thing I wanted to say was, from a 33 perspective, not to get too salesy, but we have made a small booklet in case you want to get to know some of the members of the 33 team. And our contact details are in the back, so if you give us a shout, we're always happy to help. Thank you.
Thanks,